Welcome to our Reading special hot seat interview with Monquie Buchli.
Many of you are parents. You would have, or grandparents. You have children who are dying to know about what's happened in Kenya, why they're here, why are they talking in a particular way about Kenya. As you know, when there is a shooting that's happened in Kenya, then the government is quick to say you shouldn't go there. But then when there is murdering going on in Britain, nobody says don't come to London because London is dangerous, you know. And nobody says that. Same with Paris, you know, when things happen. People don't say don't travel to Paris. But the British government is very quick to say to British travellers, don't go to Kenya. Avoid it. Don't go to the coast, you know, because they'll kill you. Somehow, there's a lot of double standards.
Yeah.
And where I come in...
Monique, if I can just call you a little bit back, you know, just before you go further into where you're coming in now. If you can just give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Sure. I'm Swiss by birth and by upbringing. I come from a country that hasn't colonized any country. That doesn't mean it's not right. Everything is right. I'm not British. I've never taken on a British passport. I don't like to be a member. I don't like to be a subject of any royal family. And Switzerland has been liberated for 800 years from a royal family. So for me this is very important. I mean, that is just my background. I'm proud to be Swiss. I'm also proud to be Kenyan because my husband is Kenyan, my children are Kenyan.
So can you tell us a little bit, I know I'm going to, you know, tell us a little bit about when did you come to the UK?
I came here in my early 20s to learn English. I didn't speak English until then. I had taken on a job in Italy and claimed to know a bit of English, but it was very minimum. So I come here and learn English.
Okay, I know for those that we know you, we know that you're married to Dan. Just a little bit, how did you meet Dan?
Well, we were both interested in education. We were both interested in history and correcting the record of history. And he was very passionate about the destruction of colonialism, the destruction and the trauma it caused on the people who were colonized. And he was a very angry man when I met him. And I suppose I did like that about him because I felt quite passionate about it myself. I didn't know much of history myself then. And the first time in my life that I had seen black people, the only person I met in the past was a Cameroonian who came to my village. And it was a big thing. So, you know, I remember having drawn a black and a white hand greeting each other for friendship, and that stayed with me for a long time. But, you know, Dan's passion for justice kind of tuned in with me. When I heard, of course, I read Otto Tom's Hawk, I started learning, reading a lot more. And I knew many things were wrong in the world. But I think what he told me about Kenya shocked me. About, you know, the Mau Mau uprising, the British, and how they lied about it. The British would say in the history books, oh, the British were the best colonizers because they didn't do any crime. They didn't commit as many crimes as the French or the Belgians. And of course, when we knew that it wasn't true, even though we didn't at the time know the full extent of it, but we knew it was untrue. And we had many arguments with people about it. When they say, oh, no, Kenya is the jewel of the British crown and all that nonsense. It really awakened a lot of anger in us. And I've always kind of been that way inclined anyway. So when I met Dan, we were like fire.
So can you just talk to us a little bit about what, since that moment when you met Dan, what are some of the things that you got yourself involved and learned about Kenya?
Okay, well, I had to work, I had children, we had children together, and there was time. I've always been involved in terms of, if you remember back in the Moi times, many people were killed, many people disappeared, many people were mistreated, they lost their jobs. Even Barack Obama's father, that was even before Moi, but what happened, that was a trend. And one of the reasons why many of you are here is because you had to escape. Many are actually refugees. Like Monquie Buchli, by the way, was here last week. many of you had to flee, or your offspring of people had to flee, or you, because of economic stress, you had to flee to have a better life here. I mean, this is a very legitimate thing. People have done it over the centuries. But of course, you've never forgotten your past, and you know, Moi wasn't the only Kenyan. There are many good Kenyans who wouldn't agree with it, and they were fighting it there, and many lost their lives. We know that. Yeah? And they were involved in a campaign here to make liberation. Liberation is an old organization for colonial freedom, basically, that Frenna Brockway had started. There were some parliamentarians behind it as well, to tell the public what was happening, what the British were doing there. There was very little else that was being told. The mass media was very one-sided. So we were involved in that campaign.
Okay.
We're talking about the 80s.
Yes.
It then went quiet, then you had a new president, and things changed a bit. But it was dangerous to go there for people like Dan. He couldn't go back. So for 50 years, he hadn't gone to Kenya. So he also lost the connection with his family, because they were moved into concentration camps, and he couldn't find them anymore, because many they couldn't even read and write. So it was difficult for him. It's only recently he's gone back, and he's found 300 people in his family. You know, it was just amazing, because they were a large family. But he had managed to get, some cousins were able to get them all together. And they got together, and it was a hugely moving experience. Now, since then, we have all been going back. Our children come with us, and we visit Kenya, we travel around, just enjoying holidays, but also visiting family, and doing a few things here and there, paying for fees and so forth. So yes, money does flow to his family. But also we feel we want more than that. And that's why we have joined your group, the PJP, is to have like a broad organization, because Kenyans have neglected each other here. I only knew Christine for the last 30 years. I didn't know many Kenyans. And it's only through Christine, who had many parties at her house, that I came to meet other Kenyans. And I also felt, there were so many professionals, and they don't know each other. They come from a particular area, but Kenyans up to now haven't really talked to each other. They've all kind of struggled in their own little way, the hard way, brought up their children on their own in a way, in a very hostile environment. And the children come home with stories that are shocking, but you can't do very much about it. Yeah. And I think I want to educate, I want to be there to help educate, not just the children, but also the adults who've gone through trauma and none of their problem, it's been none of their doing. And I think when you set the record straight about the history, the past, it helps you mentally to understand what's going on. The British people are also affected by it, but in a different way. And the distortion of history in the schools and in higher education hasn't helped them either. I mean, maybe some of the things that you observe, like Brexit, I know many of my friends who come and say, people have changed since Brexit. I felt a cool air, cool behavior towards us. So, Brexit has really, many people have because of immigration. And when they think of immigration, they don't think necessarily the people from Poland or other parts. They see visual people. So don't get it wrong. I think this is, and it's also, there's a huge, Britain, most people aren't really that well educated that they understand the past themselves, their own past. Or that they wouldn't have gone and voted for Brexit. They don't even know the present. Or they wouldn't have voted for Brexit, because it's going to harm a lot of people.
Now, let's talk about some of the works that you do. I know that, from the chats that we've had in the past, filming and especially just showcasing Kenyan history is one of some of the things that you would like to educate, not just the young Kenyans, but also just bringing some of the erroneous history that has been brought to us, and if you can just tell us a little bit what you think, how you want to do it, and some of your work.
Well, what I do here, I'll tell you what I do here. I'm part of a film corps, and we show films once a month, and we have discussions after the films. One of the Kenyan movies we showed is Taking Root by Wangari Maathai, about her vision of the future. She actually, during the Moi time, she was very active, and she was able to go. She lost her job as a professor, And in the Moi time, because she was beaten up, she was mistreated, she went to the peasant women, and together they started planting trees, and they planted over 1 million trees. And that movement has continued up to date. When she became part of the government, and Monquie Buchli, she was in the government, she was even getting the army involved, and they planted 35 million trees. Marvelous. I mean, when you think of it, this is enhancing health with the Kenyans. This is enhancing their capability to exist better. So for me, she's a heroine. You know, she got the Nobel Peace Prize as the only first African woman to have won it. And I would like that good message, not only to go to Kenyans and people here, but also to Kenyans to know about their past history. And that film, which I think the children have watched, is here. You can see it on YouTube. Just put in Taking Root, the vision of Wangari Maathai. I mean, you can put that on our website.
Yeah.
You can watch it for free on YouTube. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes. But it is a wow film, really. And those who haven't seen it, wow. Kenyans are the most highly educated people. They're young and very educated. Very educated. In fact, the brain drain is happening. Kenyans are leaving the country and they're doing very well abroad because they have the education which the Kenyan government has paid for. And they're getting free people here.
Yes.
The Western nations are benefiting from the Kenyans' education. All I want to say is, educating people. We have a very distorted information in Britain. And the history books, I don't know about the history books in Kenya, I know. I'm sure they have been rewritten because they're very brilliant people there too. But I think through films we can educate lots of people, reach a lot more people quickly. And including all ages should see those films. Liberate themselves from the past, from the burden and the trauma from the past. And talk about it. These are just bases for talks. Don't just watch a film, discuss it afterwards, have fun talking about it. Liberate yourself from the burden. I think it's great. I do it here in London and people enjoy it.
Yeah.
We have film shows every month. So if you're interested in coming to our film shows, you're very welcome. It is in central London. It's 11 o'clock on a Sunday, every second Sunday of the month. Central London, unfortunately. So if you're live far away, it's a bit difficult. So, but it's something you could start here.